Now time for more of today's trending tickers. Scan the QR code below to track the best and the worst performing stocks of this session with Yahoo Finance's trending tickers page. We want to take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia, one of the most topped searched stocks here at Yahoo Finance today. We're looking at a bit of a move lower, but the story all week has been the fact that we're very close to those record highs, given the fact that we've seen this continued excitement around the AI boom. Analysts reiterating their buy ratings on the stock, citing revenue from its new Blackwell chips and new funding for AI startups. The stock also getting a boost after Taiwan Semiconductor, which is one of its manufacturers, reported better than expected sales. So exactly what maybe this ultimately means here for demand down the line, that has, of course, been the driving factor for Nvidia. I think the question is any sort of the fact that it could maybe not live up to those initial expectations on Blackwell that have been a bit of a headwind or a challenge here that analysts have been talking about now for quite some time, but that narrative has certainly shifted. We've heard from CEO Jensen Huang reiterating time and time again that he's very confident in the demand there. He quote unquote called it insane demand for Blackwell chips, and that was enough to get any of those, or seems to at least for now, convince any of those naysayers that Nvidia's momentum still looks like it will continue here to the upside, Maddie.
I mean, it's interesting given just the degree of movement that Nvidia causes too globally. I know we talk about this all the time, but I've got a note in front of me here noting that Nvidia represents 15% of global equity volatility. That is in every stock market in the entire world, every major index. Nvidia alone is responsible for 15% of global volatility. Also, you mentioned Taiwan Semiconductor. Nvidia has been responsible for about 25% of the market gains here in the United States year to date. But you can see again that global impact, right? TSMC's gains obviously continuing to move to the upside off of that revenue that we talked about earlier this week. Taiwan Semiconductor is responsible for 75% of the year-to-date rally in Taiwan's index. So just giving some examples of how just Nvidia's growth story continues to be huge, not only here in the United States, but also more broadly, and Nvidia being really the clear AI beneficiary. That's what Goldman Sachs is calling it as of yesterday here over at their equities team, saying that growth can continue to be expected into what they call AI phase 2 multiples, but they still recommend being selective within some of those AI stocks. All right, well, Nvidia-backed CoreWeave is securing a new $650 million credit line. The GPU cloud provider is planning to use that credit to expand its business and data center portfolio. Now, the company is raising nearly $13 billion from equity and debt in the past 18 months. And I just want to take a look here because, again, that $650 million credit line, it's coming from the top banks on Wall Street, right? So a key indication of some optimism around it. I'm talking JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley leading the financing, but we also had participation from Barclays, Wells Fargo, Citi, and some others as well. Now, just to speak specifically about CoreWeave, the company is saying it's raised over $12.7 billion from equity and debt investors in just the last 18 months. So certainly a lot of optimism around this name following a funding round back in May, which led to a $19 billion valuation as well.
Yeah, you might be actually asking yourself maybe why Nvidia has taken a stake within this name or investing, backing a name like CoreWeave in the past. And it almost so much solidifies their dominance there going forward, making sure that their technology continues to be deployed and widely used. When it comes to some of the ambitions here from CoreWeave, they have been very ambitious. 28 data centers across the U.S. and here abroad. They have planned to build another 10 data centers when you look ahead to 2025. It has supplied Microsoft and the French startup Mistral with GPUs in the past. So questions about maybe what that revenue and what their business looks like. That's reportedly right around $2 billion in revenue contracts lined up for this year. So again, this backing, then further expansion plans may be ahead for CoreWeave. And just given the chat that we were just having on Nvidia and so many of these AI names, clearly that appetite and that demand for AI is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's certainly driving the markets here as we head to that 2-year anniversary of the bull market.